Have you ever been interested in starting a new career, maybe in aviation, or starting from scratch? You hate your job and you're gonna go into something else. And aviation's what you're thinking of doing. Well, this is the page for you. This is the channel because that's me. I'm an engineer and I really want to do something else in my life. And flying is one of them. I really enjoy flying. And I just want to just give my perspective to somebody out there that's maybe in the same situation as me, but it's afraid to make that jump. And so I'm just going to give my story of how I started and where I'm at, my perspective, how much it costs and all that, just in general terms. I don't have any cameras on this plane. This is a plane that I rent through my flying club. But, if this, if this channel explodes, I maybe will get some and then we'll talk more on the plane. But for now, I'm just going to do my pre-flight inspection, do my solo, and then when I come back, then we'll talk more when we're on the ground. So I actually decided to time-lapse myself doing the pre-flight checklist. So in case you don't know, it's a list of sequential steps you got to do to make sure on a general term that the aircraft is good to fly. You're checking fuel, elevator structure, the inside power, all that, your flaps. And it's really important to follow the steps. You don't want to be sloppy because you don't want to be up in the sky hoping that you're on the ground because something's wrong. And sometimes, worst case scenario, you have to put a squawk, which is basically saying there's something wrong. And you might not be able to fly, but it's better being safe than sorry. So I decided to actually record myself, prepare myself for the flight. And I decided to just do a voiceover, honestly, and tell you about myself, my vibe, and all that. So I go by Georgie on social media. Real name's Jorge. But thing about it, I am an engineer, aerospace engineer. I have been doing it for about 4 years now. And I've worked in 3 of the biggest aerospace companies. I'm not going to say which one just for my privacy. But yes, I've been doing that for a while. And my specialty is manufacturing engineer. That's what I've been doing most of my time. But I've done a little bit of other things. So other than that, I did my degree in aerospace engineering also back in Florida in Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. And it took me about 5 years, almost 5 years, about 4.75. Nobody's counting, but I was. And so, honestly, I started my career in aerospace engineering in 2019. And I don't know why, but immediately I didn't like it. I was very miserable. And I was trying to talk to people about this, and I felt like nobody really understands what I felt. And the older I'm getting, the harder it is to connect with people when it comes to that, because most people are okay with where they're at, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But to me, it bothers me when you're not happy and you're okay at staying in that situation. And so what I really want to give as an advice is, whatever you are in life, if you're not happy, this is my new quote in life, is change it up. If things aren't working out, change it up. Because if not, we're expected to work 30, 40 years, especially, our generation that might not be able to even retire by the age of 67 or 65, whatever it is. But it's important that at least you're doing something that you're happy, because I wake up every day for work. And it's hard for me to wake up, to be honest. I don't want to be fake and say that I'm happy at my job because I'm not. But the days I got to wake up to fly, which is mostly around 7 a.m., I am up by 6 a.m. ready to go. I even get there early so I can do the checklist and everything. And if I got to do fuel, I'll get that before my instructor even gets there. And the energy is completely different. And so I've decided to become a pilot full time. Do I want to go into the airlines? Definitely not. Because I know people that work in the airlines and I've seen videos about it. And a lot of people seem very unhappy to some sense. They are doing what they're happy about, what makes them happy. But there's a lot of waiting around. You do work about 2 weeks out of the year. 2 weeks out of the month, which sounds amazing. And I know people that work in that personally. But they're always complaining about something. And I just don't want to keep living life like that. So I'm deciding this is my future goal. It's to be a CFI, CFII, and teach people. Open my own personal flight school, even though it might be small. I don't care. I'll do it and just stick it out and figure it out.
because I love teaching people and I love aviation, and I think that's what I want to do. And if it changes, it changes, but well, that's part of the journey. And so that's all I want to show you, that, even though you decided to pick a career, especially a big career like engineering, if you're not happy with that career, switch it up, make something different. Doesn't have to be aviation, but it can be anything else you want to be. And don't feel embarrassed or don't feel bad if other people make you feel like you're throwing it all away. Because that's exactly what I feel with a lot of people, if I ever mention it, that you're throwing it all away, you're wasting your time, this and that. And, I'm actually paying my flight school out of my own pocket, and it's a lot of money. But you know what? It's just something about it that tells me I have to do it, because if I were to stop right now, that's a question. If you're moving on, right, to something new and you're trying different things, whatever you're doing, you're trying to do, right? If the answer is you don't care, then it's bad. So the question is, if you stop right now, what you're doing, will you be unhappy? For aviation, for me, yes. I'd be very unhappy and I feel like I'm missing on something. For you, it could be anything else. So that's all I gotta say. And I don't want to keep dragging this on. But yeah, I'll get back to you in a second from the ground after my flight.
So I just got back from my flight. I'm back in the office. I'm gonna erase my name, put the keys away, and I just flew around. I don't have to, but because I'm going on vacation for 13 days, I'm not gonna be flying for a while. So I wanted to make sure keep my muscle memory before I go, and then I come back. I will do a flight immediately when I come back Thursday morning with my instructor. But yeah, I'll put the FlyAware video up here somewhere and probably talk over it and show you kind of where I was at and where I fly out of, where I'm stationed, live, and all that.
So I live in Everett, Washington. It's a glass delta airspace. So it's really great to actually train in because it's not heavy in traffic. And everybody there is just doing training. And you have two runways, one for the big airlines and one for the small airliners. And, it's been a great experience of doing this. And I really just want to share my experience with other people that maybe want to go on the same path as me. And I know there's a lot of people. I've talked to people when I tell them I do flying and they want to do the same thing, but they're just afraid. So I just want to show you the numbers, my experience, and how I feel about it. So if that's you, subscribe below. I'm not going to really ask. If it gets there, it gets there. But, I just want to share my experience. So yeah, thank you very much and have a great day.